welcome back to the New Agenda. My name is Candace New, and I am your host. Super excited to hang out with you guys again tonight. I know we've had a little bit of a break. Not like that kind of a break, guys. Jeez. Although we might be talking about relationships tonight. Would it shock you at all? Before we get into all that, I want to say, if you did not get the opportunity to go out to the Albuquerque Film and Music Experience this past week, it was phenomenal. I believe they're going to post some of their videos online, so definitely be checking out their website and seeing what you can follow up on, and definitely get tickets for next year. This was such a great conference and such a great opportunity to network. There have been so many great conferences, and we're going to talk about a few of them today. So it's been a very long run of festival circuits around here, beginning, I think, with the High Desert screening and then coming through the Albuquerque Film and Music Experience this past weekend. We had the Stagecoach Conference, which we got to go out and participate in, which was phenomenal. We had the IATSE Expo. So it's been week after week after week of incredible networking events. If you guys are not getting out there in the community, definitely do that. Speaking of which, if you are not busy this weekend, that's right, Sunday, the 25th of September, there is another film networking event happening at Juno. I think it's in the evening, but definitely check in the time with Sopapilla Productions to be sure. But yeah, so this weekend, come hang out with us at Juno. I'll be out there, and you know that lots of other people will be out there. So come out, network, and let's figure out how we can help your dreams come true. So, speaking of dreamy things, I've got an incredibly dreamy guest coming on today. His name is Jon Riggz. Can't wait for you guys to meet him. Come on out, Jon. Hello, darling. How are you?
How are you? Thank
Good.
you for having me.
I'm so glad to have you on my show. You can sit there. You can put the pillows underneath. Okay. Welcome. I'm so glad to have you. How have you been?
Yes, I have been super busy, to say the least.
Oh, my gosh. Why?
Yeah, I just barely came back from San Antonio over the weekend.
What are you doing in San Antonio?
Just had a birthday.
You didn't invite me to your birthday, Jon?
I know. You didn't get the text. I've been texting.
Oh, you've been ignoring my text messages.
Yeah. But, you know, it's one of those things where I shouldn't even probably get into that.
Oh, okay. You know, I think that I think there's some things you and I need to chat about later.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh. So anyway, yeah. So Jon, tell me a little bit about yourself. I know a little bit about you, but tell our audience a little bit about what you do, your journey as an artist. How'd you get here? All the things.
Oh my gosh. You know, I would like to say that everything happened overnight, but it hasn't.
Really?
Know? Yes. There's, you know, of course, you're in the business of acting. You know, acting is a struggle, you know, and I've been struggling for a long time, 10 years, you know. Still haven't reached my pinnacle of where I want to be, but of course, you know, you just got to keep hustling, you know, and I have been doing that for quite some time. Yeah.
That's
awesome. You know, it just basically everything started from modeling, you know, and decided that I wanted to get into the pictures, you know.
So you started like only 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What were you doing before that?
Before that, I was a car salesman.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Were you like one of those sleazy car salesmen that tries to like sell you like lemons?
Oh yeah, I was hustling.
He admits it.
Hey, you know,
Guys.
it's one of those things where you just, you know, it's terrible to say, but yeah, I mean, we have to have a living too, you know, we try to make our living, you know, but again, I wasn't one of those guys that tried to sell you lemon, and I was just playing.
You just said you, okay. So what's the best advice you could give to a person who's trying to buy a new car like me? Like, my van, oh God, if you guys have seen me like roll up to any of these events, like it's actually shameful. Like my van is like, first of all, she's got like 200,000 miles on her. She's a Nissan, so it's not like she's a Honda or a spring chicken, you know. She's like dying. I got a cracked windshield, which I'm told is illegal, so I'm sorry about it. Every like 500 or 600 miles, she puts herself in limp mode, which is interesting. Like she just like dies, and like I can only drive like 4 miles an hour. She's like limping along.
Yeah.
Because there's some solenoid B something that like needs to be replaced, but it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
So it broke down twice on my way back from Nebraska this summer. It was terrible.
Yeah.
I had to get towed. And then it broke down again like last week and a couple weeks ago. So every couple of weeks it breaks down, and like I know it's going to happen. and it just has to, like, then you like you plug the little computer in, and then you reset it, and then it's fine.
Yeah.
But I don't have that computer, and it's like $300. I'm not gonna buy that either. So I have to like wait for like my sister's boyfriend to come over and like help me with this problem. And then I'm like, sorry guys, my car broke down again. So I am looking to buy another car, but my problem is that I have 4 kids, and so my oldest is 17, and he needs to like get his own car, and he's gonna be 18 in February, which is so weird. Like, do you have kids?
Yeah.
How many kids do you have?
I have 4.
Oh my God, how old are they?
The oldest one is, I think she's 21. Yeah, she's 21.
Okay.
Yeah, and then of course, I got the younger ones. The youngest one is 18.
Okay.
No, the youngest is 17.
Okay.
And 18. Yeah.
So almost an
17,
empty
18, 19,
nester.
21.
It's weird to think that I'm going to be categorized in that way.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding, guys. I'm 21. Yeah, so, but kid needs a car, obviously, because he needs to go out on his own and, like, move away from his mother. I mean, I love you, kid, but, like, just saying. Just going to pay rent. Then you can stay for sure. No, my kids are great, and I've been very sad about my oldest, like, the idea of him, like, graduating and moving out, so we're not, but I need a new car, and I don't want a minivan, so I'm trying to, like, get my vehicle to, like, surpass the need for, like, a 4, to house 4 children in it.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to, like, what can I buy that's sexy, that's also economical, and that's also could arguably transport children if I had to.
I think a van like yours is pretty sexy.
I don't want a van! What?
Isn't that what you said you had?
No, yeah, but I'm trying to get rid of it.
Okay. Well, I haven't been in the car
Says a
business
van is
for
sexy.
a long
What? Oh my
time.
God.
So I don't know how things have changed, but I guess back then, I actually sold my mom a car. So going by my experience with my mom, of course, try to find something that's, inexpensive. I would always try to push for the new car, but if you have to, if you can do it with a used car, it depreciates a lot less.
Right.
So I would rather go with a used car as opposed to a brand new one, But of course, you get there, they always try to push you for the new car.
My dad always says that a car that's brand new loses half its value as soon as you drive off the lot. So I have never bought a brand new car, and I probably never will.
Okay.
So that's good, but I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, sorry. So I got distracted. Anyway, all right, so you were a car salesman.
Yeah.
You decided to get into modeling. Just one day you woke up, you're like, I'm going to be a model.
I mean, there's a lot of history behind, everything. This is a lot. I don't think we have enough time for all that, but it wasn't like I just got up one morning and said, I wanted to be a model. There's a lot that led to that.
It was kind of there already.
Yeah, it kind of led something, drastic happened in my life that kind of led to that, So I was trying to find myself, and I couldn't find myself working as a car salesman for so long, because anybody who has in car sales, they know the amount of hours you have to work, right?
Right.
So I was a single father at the time, so I had 2 girls that I was raising by myself.
Yeah.
So being in a car sales, you're working 7 days a week. You're working terrible hours.
Right.
And you're working through the holidays.
Yeah.
And fortunately, my mother was there to help me, with the kids while I was out working. But that kind of got old, and I told myself, and I was probably like maybe 35, and I told myself that I couldn't do this anymore.
Yeah.
That's just getting way too long. And the hours, I'm missing, all my daughters growing up, both my daughters growing up, so I couldn't do it anymore. So I started to do some reevaluating and started to think about what it is I really wanted to do with my life as opposed to just, working day in, day out, with selling cars.
Yeah.
Anybody in car sales knows that it's not a full-time job. It's temporary. You just make what you can and then try to find, something else. So when that happened, of course, I thought at the time, it's one of those things where everybody's telling you, hey, you could probably go for modeling, this and that. There's not a lot of Native American modeling, modeling, that's why I always told myself that I couldn't do it, for one, that growing up, in a Native American community, you're always told that you can't do certain things because you're Native, right?
Okay.
So that was one of my challenges. The other one was just the fact that I didn't believe in myself.
Yeah,
so,
negative self-talk.
Exactly. So I used to push myself down a lot, So, of course, I got into modeling, and then modeling, eventually, I was really camera shy. So camera shy.
I can tell. It's so obvious right now. You look so nervous right now. Obviously, you've gotten over that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was so camera shy, and I didn't know nothing about cameras or anything else like that, and then eventually, I got so used to it, I got hired by Express Men's Magazine or Express Men's Clothing
Nice.
in L.A.
Okay.
The first time I went out to L.A. is when they picked me up.
Okay.
It's amazing.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So and then I liked it, a lot. So I started going to these Native American fashion shows, and I was a hit.
Yeah.
And then it kind of led into filming. I wanted to be an actor.
Okay.
But again, it's one of those stories where people say, "Man, you got to put in your work to be a really good actor."
Absolutely.
And it takes years.
Absolutely.
So then, of course, people tell you like, "Oh my God, you're 35, and you can't really be a working actor until you're probably in your 50s, or late 60s, because it takes so long to actually get your first gig, right?" So, and that was a point where I felt like discouraged, like I couldn't do it because of all the negative talk.
Right.
So I think that just drove me more to become an actor, because
That's good. You know what? That's a great way to approach that, though.
Yeah, exactly. And I just took it head on, and picked up here an agent in Albuquerque. As I used to live in Phoenix.
Yeah.
I was born and raised in Phoenix, so coming to Albuquerque was a step to trying to get that, little leverage, and it's worked out well so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what kind of projects have you been able to be on?
Quite a few. I was on a television series called Briar Patch. Got to work with Rosario Dawson. I was playing a detective, and then a few other ones. It's one of those things where you just do so many, but it's one of those things where I only wanted to collect a check because I need the money, right? Because I'm a full-time worker. Started in the background first, and then of course worked my way up to doing getting small parts here and there. But nothing major so far. But yeah, I've been in a few. Briar Patch is one of those ones where I was consistently working. Always on, recurring.
Nice.
But then of course pandemic hit, everything else, and then all of a sudden it's like. Rosario, she was the executive producer, and she had to cancel.
Yeah.
In our 9th episode, first season.
Okay.
Bummer.
So did it come out at all?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They
Okay,
ran
good.
all 9 episodes, but after that they canceled the
just
season.
cancel it.
Yep.
That's a bummer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I ran into you the other day at a film studio because I was going for a tour and meeting up with my friend Jimmy Tran, and you were there.
Yeah.
And that was so, and I was like, what is happening right now?
Small world.
Yeah, so tell me about what you were doing there and what is that place?
Yeah, so adding to my acting and everything else, I just fell in love with the camera.
Yeah.
And I felt that, it's kind of like my calling too to become a filmmaker, because I have this imagination of different things. And not only can I make films, but how else could I help my Native community with, whatever it is I can, using a camera. I felt that it was a need for filmmakers in the Native American community because there's kids out there that need to get their things across, their message. There's so many kids on the Native reservation that don't have that ability to say what they have to say. Some of them are so quiet, and there's not the way they're raised.
Right.
So somebody gave me the opportunity to talk to the kids. I came into a meeting and they're like, "Hey, is there a way that you can use your acting and this and that to try to help in some way in the community?" Because by this time I was already kind of like an influencer for the Native community because I've been doing so much. So at this time it was just a thought of becoming a filmmaker, and that's when I kind of hit it dead on and said, well, why don't I start making my own films and be my own actor in my own films, and that way I can at least start helping anybody in the Native community to become either above or below the line of production. There's so many talented people out there. It's ridiculous. They just don't get the chance.
I agree.
So I figured, well, if I opened this production company, then I would give the opportunity to those that don't have that opportunity. Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why we actually founded this company, was to create some of those access, or to solve some of those access issues. You know, some of it was like access related to time, you know, even just the idea of like trying to film, excuse me, so sorry, during like, you know, the weekday in the middle of the day, like that's not accessible for people. So we started filming, you know, projects that we would film on nights and weekends so that it was accessible to people who had regular day jobs. And so, yeah, I mean, creating more access is huge, and it's not being done enough. And so that's awesome. So you started this program with these kids.
Yeah, so what that, you know, so me taking, you know, the step to start my own business, of course I had, you know, made a lot of friends in the filming business, you know, and it came out to be like little side projects, you know, we'll film here and there, different things, you know, short little films, you know, just kind of messing around. And then all of a sudden I started writing, you know, I started writing, and now I got a few books that I'm writing, and that and that's my kind of like my brainchild, you know, I want to finish that now, you know, because it does tell a story about, you know, some of the things that are going on in the reservation. Yeah. And that's, you know, going on 5 years now I've been writing.
Nice.
So now it's actually coming to fruition, you know, things are finally starting to happen.
Yeah.
I got a team together, and we're all starting to make this, you know, and I think my production company now has actually, you know, gone to the next level of production. So now I have a lot of different people that are all involved, you know, so it's finally building itself out. I have a studio, and that's where you met me at, and that's kind of where it led to, you know, me meeting you at the studio, because I'm actually also creating media for TV.
Right, for the Southwest Channel.
Yep.
This show's also on the Southwest Channel, friends, Tuesdays. There are a couple seasons behind us, though, so this will be out in a couple months on the Southwest Channel. But yeah, that's awesome. So, you know, that kind of brings me to one of the things I want to talk about today is the idea of, you know, we've been talking about like building goals that make sense. And so, you know, part of the show, like obviously I want to like entertain people. Duh, hi, look at me, I'm weird. But you know, my goal on this show is always to really talk about and to bring people on that are really pursuing their dreams and making things happen. You know, and so one of the things that we've been talking a lot about is the idea of goal setting. And today I wanted to go a little bit deeper in goal setting. And so we're going to cut to our intentional moment for the day, and then we'll come back and we'll chat about it.
Hey everyone, for this week's intentional moment, I'm super excited to continue building on last week's goal setting. And today we're going to be talking specifically about SMART goals. If you feel like these intentional moments are a little bit elementary and you know some of this stuff already, stay tuned, because we are going to continue to talk about goal setting. We're going to dig really deep, and we're going to show you how you can achieve your dreams. So SMART goals, what is it? SMART goals is specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. I'm going to talk about every single one of those. So again, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. Specific means that we are making sure they're not too vague or too broad, right? So that means that we are focusing our goals so that we can really dive in deep, and we can make sure that they make sense. So instead of saying, I'm going to get better, right, we're going to say, I'm going to gain 5 pounds, or I'm going to grow, I'm going to say more positive things, and then we're going to attach that to it being measurable. So those go really hand in hand, right? So measurable means that it's a specific number that you can actually measure. What is the evidence that shows that you actually accomplished this thing, right? So that might look like a number of pounds that you are going to gain or lose, right? It might look like a percentage of how much you're going to grow in a certain area. So it might be like, I am going to increase the positive things I say by 10%, or I'm going to decrease the negative self-talk I have by 12%, right? So part of that means that we're also measuring where we're currently at, and then every day making sure that we're taking a measurement of how we're growing in that area. Attainable means that we're setting realistic goals. If I was just to be like, I am going to cut out 100% of negative self-talk starting tomorrow, and I'm just going to be magically better, that's not going to work, right? We have to take steps in the direction of our goals, and so it needs to be attainable. It might be like, okay, my goal is to become a dive master. Okay, if I want to become a dive master, the first thing I need to do is make sure I know how to swim. Actually, fun fact, you can swim, or you can dive without knowing how to swim, kind of. But it might be that you get your open water certification, right? And making sure that that's attainable. That's realistic. You can't just go from point A to point, Z. You need to go along the way, right? So it's attainable. The next one is relevant. Are the steps that you're taking relevant to your overall trajectory, to your overall goal, and are they relevant to your personal values? And so last week we talked about the idea of setting a large goal, maybe for the whole year, and then breaking it down into monthly and even weekly steps. So this kind of goes with that. How is this relevant in relation to what you're heading towards? So making sure that it's relevant. How does it tie back into and make sure that you're hitting that mark at the end of it? Does that make sense? All right, the last one is, I think, the most important, and that's time bound. It needs to be bound to a specific amount of time or a specific date. When are you going to accomplish these things by? Right? So if I'm going to decrease my negative self-talk by 12%, by when? Otherwise, I'll just be working on that forever, right? Like, I know me, I'm a procrastinator, and I will wait till the last minute. So it needs to be something that's time-bound and also falls into that realistic category. So maybe it's like, I'm going to decrease my negative self-talk by 12% by the end of this month. So within 1 month time, I'm going to make sure that my negative self-talk has decreased by that amount. Or I'm going to save, $200 by, the end of September, for example, okay? So that's what it means. So SMART goals, your goals shouldn't just be, they should be related to your major goal, absolutely. They should be broken down by month or by week, and they should be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. I look forward to seeing you on your journeys.
So that is this week's intentional moment. Follow us every week as we continue to dive deeper into practical ways to really go about accomplishing your goals and your dreams. So I'll dive a little bit deeper every single week. So come and join us. Speaking of that, I really want to have a conversation about goals. But before so, I want to bring on another guest who has had some big goals that she has chased down and that she's got coming up in the future as well. So I'm super excited to bring up Carmen Dahlman again. Hello, darling. We're so excited to have you back on my show. Good to see you again. You can sit right there.
Hello, how are you?
Good, good.
You just make some room for you here.
Share some of that.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Guys, these are like decorative pillows. I've had this conversation before.
They're comfortable.
So, Carmen, I'm so glad to have you. Last time you were here, because y'all, she's been on my show before in case you're unaware, okay? So last time Carmen was here, we were here talking about the high desert screening,
Yes.
which went up this last, is it August or September?
August.
Okay, yeah. It kind of kicked off our festival run, yeah?
Yeah.
It was kind of the first one, and it was like back to back after that, and now it's been like 6 festivals later.
One after another one. We have so many.
I don't know.
That's good. I don't know.
It's good though.
Yeah.
And I think they all offered different things
Yes.
and had different flavors.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about big goals and maybe how you guys have approached or attacked them. I talked about building SMART goals. And maybe you guys have some specific and measurable, attainable, realistic, relevant, and time-bound goals that you guys are working towards right now, or that you guys built in order to get where you guys are now at this point in your life. Can you guys talk a little bit about your process for building goals?
You first, Mr. Producer.
Goals.
Yeah.
Geez. I have so many, I think a lot of it's just preparation, consistency.
Yeah.
As long as you have those two, you're always bound to, get where you are.
So when you're writing, do you try to set like certain either like a certain amount of time that you write, or a certain word count, or a certain page count? Like when you write, how do you approach your writing goals?
Writing is one of those things where, for me anyway, I really try to create some type of formula or even some type of schedule of when I should write, but it's one of those things where you just get that writer's block. So it really,
You need a
there's-
break from it.
yeah, there's really no way to try to set a schedule or sort of set a time during the day. It's like whenever you feel like you're inspired by something, it's when I try to get it down on paper.
So I hear what you mean about the idea of like being inspired. And I know that there are definitely moments where I am, walking down the road and I'm like, oh my God, I have to write that down. I do a lot of writing as well. And I've had the incredible opportunity to interview some really incredible writers. One of them is Cindy Gunderson, and she just released her 12th novel, and she's won several awards, and she was on my show a couple of weeks ago. And one of the things that she said was, like, that idea about, like, yes, inspiration, but even just to sit down and just to journal about your day or to write something every day, because you can always go back through those things and even use them as material, and that kind of helps with writer's block. So I'm going to challenge you, Jon.
Okay.
I know you didn't expect that today on my show, but I'm going to challenge you because do you think that if you were maybe like more intentional about setting aside that intentional time every day to write, that you might make more progress?
Oh yeah, definitely. I believe that.
So I'm going to challenge you.
Okay.
I'm going to challenge you to be more intentional. So I'm going to come back to you in a minute. I'm going to ask you to write a SMART goal for your writing. Or if there's something else that you want to tackle, he's like, man, why did I come on this show today? I hate this girl. Oh. Ha ha. So and I think I know that I've kind of been in this, like, everything's been busy, right? And I know we've all been busy because I've seen us all at places and doing things, and we're doing things coming up, and it's crazy, right? I mean, like, I went home after the Albuquerque Film and Music experience on was it last night? Yeah, it was last night. Oh my God. And you can tell, like, I look like trash today, friends. But I went home and, like, my laundry is piled up. The dishes are everywhere. Like, my house is a mess. I don't even know if I fed my dog. Okay, I did. I fed my dog. Okay. But, like, I mean, it's a mess right now. Like, my life is kind of, like, all over the place. And, like, there's emails that I haven't responded to. Sorry, friends, I'll get back to you. Hee hee. Like, there's so many things that, like, I haven't done that I would normally have accomplished because the last 6 weeks have been crazy, right? For all of us. Like, it's been a lot. And it's kind of thrown me from my normal routines too. So I know I'm kind of like, I need to reset. And so maybe we can all, like, take a minute and just, like, let's write some goals today. And then maybe we'll even check back in a couple of weeks and see how it's going.
Yeah.
But what are we wanting to accomplish? Like, you mentioned writing, so that's why I brought it up, but maybe what is something that you're hoping to accomplish too?
It doesn't matter. It could be anything. Even like eating habits. If you want to get in shape, or like if you want to travel. I think it doesn't matter what is the goal. I think you have to find what is it that you want,
right?
And then go on.
And backwards plan, yeah.
But you cannot be dreaming about it. You're not gonna be like set up a goal like I'm gonna save $1,000 in 2 days.
That's because that's not realistic, right? That's not attainable. But but what goals what do we have right now? Like, looking forward, what do you guys want? Today is September. What's the date, guys? Help me out.
September 19th.
19th. Okay, so we're almost into October. Okay, so between now and 6 weeks from now is October 31st, by Halloween. In the next 6 weeks, what would you like to accomplish that's realistic, that's relevant to your current goals, that's in line with where you want to be? And how can we backwards plan together even to get there? I'm going to make you guys do this on TV right now.
This is a really tough question for me.
I know.
When you multitask and you do a lot of stuff, it's really difficult to have like a schedule, like from 9 a.m. to 2 a.m. I'm going to do this, and then,
And
it's
it doesn't
really
have
difficult.
to necessarily be like that.
No, and everybody
But-
works in a different way.
Right.
So, I mean, in my case, if I have that, I will never do it. Like, if
Yeah.
I have from 8 and 9, I'm going to go to the gym, it's not going to happen.
Time block.
Yeah,
And that's okay.
everybody works differently. I mean, you
Yeah.
can set up a time for certain stuff to do a day, but for me,
Well, like for me, okay, so for example, right now I'm working on learning Italian. You guys can learn why later, okay? But I'm working on learning Italian. I've got like 7 months or so to learn Italian. Okay, so I'm working on learning Italian. Thanks, guys.
and you have your
Learning Italian.
timeline.
I do. I have a timeline, right? But like also, so I'm using Duolingo,
right? And my goal is to maintain my streaks. Like, that's a minimum goal, but it's measurable because Duo does it for me, which is nice. And I don't have the ability to set every day at this time I'm going to do this thing. No, it's not going to happen. You're right. We work in weird ways, right? Especially when we work in this industry and we have kids and our lives are kind of all over the place, yeah? So, but I will say that every single day I am going to log on to Duolingo and I'm going to complete one lesson, which is what I need to do my streak. If I find that I can do more, then I will. And if I find that I can't, then I won't. So, you know, for me, that looks like the nice thing is Duo is going to harass me because he's known for that, right? Like, wow. Okay. And B, I'm going to set a timer, or not a timer. I'm going to set an alarm on my phone, right? So at night, if it hits 8 p.m. and I haven't done it yet, my alarm's going to go off and be like Duolingo, right? And so that is really helpful for me because, you know, I know that by the time my night kind of winds down, things get a little bit calmer, like around that time of night for me. So I can spend 5 minutes, even if it's just like, I'm going to go hide in my bathroom, which is where moms get things done. Okay. So many things get accomplished in the bathroom.
I don't blame you. Sometimes
Yeah.
I answer my emails.
Right.
There.
Yeah. Even if, I mean, sometimes
Yeah.
I'm not even going to the bathroom. I'm just in the bathroom with the door closed because, like, goodness, the kids will leave me alone. Like, leave me alone. I'm taking a dump. God, go away. Right.
Mom.
I know. Even then, I'm like, are you serious?
Constantly,
I'm in the bathroom.
What
Oh
is
my
it?
God. So, so that's a goal that I've set is every day, for the next, I mean, so let's say every day between now and October 31st, I'm going to practice Italian once a day for at least 15 minutes.
Yeah.
That's my goal.
Yeah.
It's specific, it's measurable, it's attainable. I can do 15 minutes.
You can download
it's
podcasts
relevant.
in Italian.
Ooh, I love
So
that.
way, instead of putting the radio while you're driving, you're listening Italian.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I could add that. I could add that.
You know
All right, so I'm going to turn it on you guys.
what?
What goal do you want to accomplish? What's something that you want to accomplish in the next 6 weeks that we could start working on today?
In the next 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I think mine is something that I've already started, but I'm kind of off and on, would just be to get really back into shape. Because, of course, I want to start modeling again. I kind of jumped off of that for a little while, but now
And there's some other reasons why we might want to get back in shape by the end of October, guys.
Yeah.
Right? We're going to talk about that in a minute. But, all right, so what does that mean? Because getting in shape is not specific. So what does that mean for you?
Healthy, eating right.
But is there a specific, so when we talk about, is there a specific, like, weight that you want to hit? Or is there a specific, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think for me, my ideal weight that I need to be at, is 170. So I need to be at 170. 165 if I could, but 170 would be ideal.
And that's what you want to be at by October 31st?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna call you that day.
And so how are you going to reach that goal? So what are you going to do either every day or once a week or twice a week? So how can let's plan for that.
I think writing in my journal is really helpful, because at least that way I can track what I'm doing and also how I'm feeling.
Okay.
And I also feel inspired to actually find some inspiration to actually start working out, and also
So how is writing in your journal going to help you get in shape? Like, what are you going to do to get in shape? Because writing in your journal is, I see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But when we talk about it being relevant, like, is it relevant to the actual weight number? What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Are you going to work out twice a week? Are you going to change your diet? Are we going on keto? Because we're going to call you now.
Yeah.
We're going to text you, and you're going to ignore
Yeah,
our
this is
cell
actually
phone.
going to be really helpful for me because, that's
Right?
inspiration.
Right.
So the journal thing is, I feel like what's always helped me as an actor was to really write things down emotionally, because of course as actors, we kind of get, mixed up with so many different things and, we're just kind of up and down, especially with family and stuff. So writing down in a journal actually allows me to get rid of all that stuff so I can focus more on, what it is I'm trying to do. In this case, working out.
Okay.
So if I can download all that, and then of course, the next thing would be just setting my alarm to a certain time, making sure that I'm, setting that time aside for working out.
So when are you going to work out? You got to make a plan right now.
How many times a week
Oh my God.
are you gonna go to the
I know.
gym?
Yeah, this is
That's-
how it
that's a-
starts,
that's a-
though.
I know, right? That's a
I
tough one.
know.
Yeah, right?
So
I mean-
at least 3 times a week.
At least 3 times a week, okay.
I do hit the treadmill though every day.
You do
But
already.
I do need to start implementing working out as
Okay.
weights and stuff. So that would be a good challenge for me because I got the treadmill thing down, but
Okay.
you know, I always
Better- you're doing
discouraged
better
to
than me.
lifting weights. So 3 times a week,
Three
at
times a
least
week.
twice a day. You know, 15 minutes. You know, really just lifting weights. I think that's what I need.
3 times a week.
3 times a week.
Okay. So what days do you think you want to do that 3 times a week?
Probably on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
All right, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So we're gonna check
What
in.
gym are you going to? I'm just
We're gonna be the crazy ex-girlfriends.
Oh my God! Like stalking.
Okay, so 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. All right, so we're gonna check in
Mhm.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and say, hey, did you go to the gym today? Is that gonna help you?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we're doing this.
Yeah.
We're doing this.
Teamwork. There
Teamwork.
You go. Got it.
And it would be like,
Got your
oh,
back.
you don't have to, you know, remind me every
He's gonna
day.
love
Or
luck.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
From you.
What about you, Carmen? What do you want to accomplish?
Oh my gosh. I've been working on this short film, and it's my last short film.
Yeah.
I'm graduating from that. For some reason, I'm having difficulties finishing it.
Yeah,
So that's what I'm gonna focus on.
on writing.
No, I'm finishing my short film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How
it
are you
needs-
gonna-
It needs more editing. It needs the
Okay.
music. It needs the credits. And it's getting there, but for some reason, it's taking me longer than
Mhm.
my previous projects.
So right
and
now it's in
driving me
post.
crazy. Oh my gosh, yeah. And then
Yeah,
I
okay.
also want to do a trailer for it.
Okay.
So that's what I'm gonna focus on, other than working.
So you got 6 weeks. How many hours a week do you think you need to dedicate to that to hit that by October 31st?
30, 60, at least. Well, are we talking just about lifting weights, 15 minutes?
No, I'm
30
talking. I'm
minutes?
sorry.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
asking
Oh,
her
okay,
about
okay.
so that she
Um,
can edit.
Okay, it's
How
in
much time does she
progress.
need to work?
I just have to set it. Let's say in 6 weeks has to be done. The trailer and the short film.
But we need to also
I know. I need
figure
to
out how to make that smaller, right? Because that makes it attainable.
Yeah, but I need
Otherwise,
to find the music. I need to
Mhm.
find
So-
this and that.
how much time do you want to dedicate each week, though?
Each week I would say an hour.
So you think that in
12
6
an
in
hour.
6 hours it's going to be done?
Yeah, I think so.
You think you got just about 6
because
hours?
It's more like about the editor finishing it for me and me looking and find the music and do this. And
Okay.
do that. It's
So you're going to
almost
dedicate an
there.
hour a week.
Yeah.
And when are you going to do that hour a week?
If
If you do it on a Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, we're already checking in.
No. I'm also started going to the gym. I started today.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a really weird job, so
Mm.
I sometimes I don't have time to go to the gym.
So we're going to set
So
an
yeah.
idea of this hour.
Yeah.
When do you want us to check in? On Wednesdays? We could check in on Wednesdays. Did you get your hour done this week, Carmen? Since we're all checking in on Wednesdays. I mean, we're already doing it.
I would say Wednesdays.
Okay, Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Wednesdays.
So Wednesdays,
Yeah.
we're talking about working out. We're talking about
Finishing a project. Yeah.
about did you spend an hour this week working on the project? And I actually have a screenplay that I need to finish. So I need to write. And I have been like not doing a good job of writing at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say that I need to write. Oh God, I'm gonna do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That way I'm on the same schedule as you. And I'm just gonna do looking at my intern trying to decide because I know she's gonna harass me. She sees me every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So I'm gonna go ahead and set aside 30 minutes. That's not a lot of time, but 30 minutes a day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday to write. I think that's an attainable goal for me. It's really
Yeah.
hard to add that to my schedule.
Yeah,
So I feel like that's what we're doing. All right, so we are in this together.
I'm down.
That means that by the time I see you guys again,
Yeah, my project
We
has
will-
to be done. You have
we
to
will
be,
have,
I will be 25 pounds lighter.
Yeah.
we will have,
Maybe
okay,
Yeah.
and you'll have finished your short film,
my
and I
trailer.
will have hopefully a completed
Finish your- yeah.
screenplay.
That's good.
Okay, so since we're talking about the end of October, we are all doing something in the end of October, which is part of why we're putting these goals together too.
Yep.
Why we picked that time frame.
I know.
Who wants to talk about it?
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
I know.
But that's the funny thing. We all are involved in this.
I
Yeah.
know.
Craziness.
That's
Yeah.
why we're.
Yeah.
So why don't you talk about it, John? I think it's you.
Well,
Tell our audience.
Koyo
Mm.
is the name of the series that we're going to be on. Of course, all three of us are going to be, all part of this series. It's a fun project, and I like projects like this that are just, of course, the cast is just, everybody that's on this film is completely, down to earth. You know, everybody's fun, of course. You know, I'm having fun with these two, and
You are today. You may not be on that day.
yeah, the set could be a whole different, a whole different stuff. But you know, it's a project that I feel like has a lot of potential, and I'm super stoked on being a part of it. And being the character that I am. I play the character Justin in this short film. It's the lead character, and I feel like I really relate to this guy. In a lot of ways. So. And the other reason why I like this project is because, again, it kind of, I can relate to this guy in certain ways because, it is a part of his history that I may have already visited, which it sounds like it's easy to actually jump into that character, but it's not, it's actually had to go back and revisit that, part of my life, but I mean, I'm super stoked and I'm getting ready to, lose this weight, of course for Justin. I want to be, everything that I feel like he should be,
Right.
because I was actually that weight back then, which actually, that's why I want to go back to that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's, so much more I want to talk about it, but.
But you gotta watch it to find out. Okay, but
Yeah.
we could talk a little bit about who each of us are playing.
Yeah,
Um,
sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
without
gonna be
giving away too
Anna.
much.
I'm gonna play the role of Anna,
Mm-hmm.
and she's a Latina, obviously. I love that, and we don't get along
Yeah.
in the beginning. I don't know
Oh.
later on. I have no idea, but I think when we meet,
There's some tension
There's
there.
definitely some tension.
There's some tension here
Yeah.
too, because we are. This is I am John's former love interest.
Yeah.
I'm probably taking advantage of that a little bit and don't mind harassing him a little bit. Maybe he's ignoring some of my text messages. We're gonna
Yeah.
find out.
Hence the conversation after the show, not
Right.
that it's going to do anything with it, but.
nothing.
Yeah, but so I'm super excited. I'm also my character is Amelia. She's also a news reporter, so I feel very excited about playing this character because I feel like it's very much kind of
Yeah.
like my kind of
Your
on-camera personality.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, here we are.
I think it's perfect for you.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's a little bit snarky and a little bit quirky and.
Yeah.
So, all the things that make me me. So I don't even know that I need acting skills for this. I'm just me myself on camera with a different name. Maybe I'll bring my cup.
Right. And I actually play the character Justin Coyote. I'm not sure if that's his real last name, but, Coyote. But yeah, he's got some strange powers, and I don't exactly know what that is just yet, but I'm looking forward to finding that out, the reveal. But yeah, I mean, he's just down on his luck, he used to be a detective.
That's right. He
but
used
now,
to be good.
Yeah,
He
and-
used
He used to be all kinds of things.
yeah.
He used to.
Used to be.
I'm
He
guessing he
used to
used to be a
be
good-looking
20
guy
pounds
too.
later.
And
Oh, he's
something-
still a good-looking
and then,
guy.
kinda
Oh my
then
gosh.
took a turn for the worse, but and then of course we don't get along. That may have added to his stress. I'm sure.
No,
You
I'm
don't
not
get
sure.
along with anyone.
Right, maybe you
Seems
should
like it.
have a
Yeah.
new goal about getting along
Yeah.
with people. This is a Ricky Lee film, so
Yeah.
we're super excited to come on set with Ricky Lee and watch him bring this script to life. There
definitely.
is an Indiegogo campaign. It
Yes.
didn't make sense for us to throw it on the bottom of the screen because it was a long email, a long web address. However, it will be on our website. It'll also go out in the newsletter, so keep an eye out for that. And it'll also be on the New Agenda in the blog. So we'll put all that out. Of course, all of us are sharing about it on our social media, and we invite you guys to participate. Ricky Lee has some great artwork as well that he's added as like some of the perks if you're donating. So there's some beautiful artwork that you can get.
He's a painter also, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He paints and stuff like that.
And I think it's really important that we do support local. Of course, New Mexico. There's a lot of talented people out there that are
It
making
is
films.
not easy, especially when it comes to get the budget.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like people probably don't know how much is involved in
Oh, yeah.
making
Right.
Yeah.
even a short film.
Right.
mean,
Oh,
like-
absolutely.
Like
Yeah.
you want to talk about that?
I think we should. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important. I mean, and
Yeah.
I know that people sometimes look at people who are on camera. First of all, people always think I'm rich, which I think is so funny. It's like we're not rich. We pay
Yeah.
a lot of times into our own projects.
Yeah. Exactly.
And when you manage to get a paid project in New Mexico, you're gonna get maybe a day rate for today and then not work for another 3 weeks.
Exactly.
So it's, even if you have a high day rate, which in New Mexico, we are not getting the kind of day rates that we should be getting. And so, but then it's like, maybe we're not working for another 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's a huge deal.
You never know when the job is coming.
Yeah.
The paid job is coming as an actor.
Exactly.
As well.
Yeah.
I haven't been on set for a while. It's just like,
Yeah.
I'm craving it.
Right. I know, I'm so excited.
On set.
But it's also, we're paying for insurance, right? For production insurance, which can be quite a lot. You're paying for locations. I've had people quote me location prices on the cheap end from like $1,400, which I think is a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, to like $10,000-$20,000 for the day, which is
per day.
Yep, insurance per day. You're looking at day rates for all of your cast and
Yeah.
crew, right? I mean, one person on set might make $250 for the day.
That's without the food, the wardrobe,
And
makeup.
and think about how many people have to be on a set. If you have an average $250 day rate, you've got PAs, you've got sound people, you've got camera people, you've got second
Everybody's
and
got
third
to eat.
cameras.
Everybody's got to eat.
You've got your cast, and you've got your director, your scripty. There are so many. I'm missing people. I'm missing so many people that I'm not.
Yeah.
your gaffers, your
Costume,
grips,
makeup,
costume, makeup. Yeah.
Crafty.
Safety,
Yeah.
crafty,
Mm-hmm.
name it. I don't know. Grip.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then, your safety officers, your EMTs, and all of that is just on a regular
Yeah.
small set.
Yeah.
And then your background actors, if you have anybody in the background, all of them are being paid. All of your actors are being hopefully being paid, right? So the cost of putting up a film that's actually a paid project is huge. And so when we've got somebody coming out and like trying to raise funds for it, like it's really great when the community comes around and helps us get there.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
But and then of course, we feed our film people. It's kind of a basic thing. Like if you're on a film set, you're getting paid, or you're getting fed, paid hopefully too, but fed
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, just think about wedding planning, friends. I don't know how many of you guys have done that because I feel like that kind of gives you a little bit of insight.
Yeah.
The cost that goes into your one day of a wedding, like your one wedding day, that's basically every day on set.
Yeah.
And when you're thinking about like how much it costs to feed people in a wedding, you just feed them for one meal. And on set, you always feed them at least 2 meals. You feed them when they get there, and you feed them at lunch, which is 6 hours later. And if you stick around long enough, you feed them again. And so it's a huge, huge expense. And it costs a lot, but it's also what we need to do to really boost our film economy is to support local film. And, I think all of us go out in the world and we buy things and we, like how much did you spend today on just like junk food? Or, which we could put that towards our industry, just saying.
Yeah. It's a lot of
Just
support.
So,
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got to, try to find a way to help, and it actually creates a lot of jobs, in the film industry, and that's what we need, a lot of support. So if you guys are watching this, look for that Indiegogo, please support, help with these little projects. They mean a lot to a lot of people, keeps, food on the table for a lot of people, and allows, opportunity for, actors like us,
and for stories to be told.
Oh, yeah.
And messages to get out there in the world. So that's a great thing.
And also to show what New Mexicans are doing.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, I mean, like,
It's just a major impact that New Mexico has now, it's a super advantage of all the stuff's going on, especially with the film credit, tax
Absolutely.
credit.
Yeah. Well, and I know we've just gotten back from a whole lot of film festival stuff. Carmen, I wanted to hear about how things went with the High Desert screening.
it went so well. I mean, we had the opening of the cheerleaders at the what is it, the school, Albuquerque school, and I think that was so unique, and everybody was so excited. We had the panels, which you were in both of them,
Right.
and
Man, I had such a great time being on those panels. So first of all, I want to say thank you so much for letting me come out and be on the panels. But it was also just so informative.
yes,
And the wide variety of people that you guys brought out for the panels was really, really awesome and a great opportunity for all of us to network as well. And so it was a really great event.
and that's the goal of it. Like, it's just like not just informative, educative, but also like the connection and the networking of it. So next year we might have another panel, but it will be for crew,
Okay.
like to open up opportunities for jobs. in the film industry.
I love that.
And for people who they don't know that there's a makeup and you can work on set,
Right.
or like I don't know, like producers or directors or name it, I don't know, crafty, whatever.
Right.
Just for crew. And so we are gonna try.
Mhm.
I'm not promising anything,
Right.
but we may gonna bring people from 480 and other people like that to talk about how to get involved in real jobs on set.
That's a great,
Yeah.
you know, before we wrap up, because we've got only a few minutes, but one of the things that we have started at Katharsis Media here and at the New Mexico Ed channel is that we just started a career pathways program, actually. And it's really exciting because it's not like anything that we've had in New Mexico. It kind of fills the gap right now. Like, you can go to film school, and when you graduate from film school, you have your 15 days towards your 30 for the union. But then you still have to go find those other 15. And we have like 680 people on the
And
overflow
some of
list
these
waiting.
people, they don't know the paperwork of how to do a SAC low media budget.
Yeah.
I mean, they know how to make a film.
Right.
I mean, they know the equipment, they know the editing, but they don't know how to like do the paperwork and do the whole,
That's
how
why
to
you
balance.
should visit
So,
Carrie
yeah.
Rose of the Albuquerque Film
Yeah.
Media Incubator.
And
But
she was also on the panel. So,
Yeah.
so it's and this film festival is not just like entertainment, but
Right.
it's also informative, like you said. So for next year, we're hoping to have like a weekend event.
Yeah.
So I'm starting working on it.
well, that'll be
Another
great. That'll be really
6
great.
6 months goal.
That's right. That's right. And we're gonna make some SMART goals.
Yeah.
But yeah, I invite you guys to check out what we're doing as well,
It was a learning
and we can,
experience as
you know,
well, because I need walkie-talkies. I was just running back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. There was a
That's
point when
great.
I threw my shoes off. I'm just gonna be barefoot.
Yeah.
No, it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Well, that's awesome. Well, that's really great. We only have a few minutes left. And so I just want to say thank you guys so much for coming out and joining us today. And those of you out there watching, definitely check out some of the things that we've been talking about. Get ready for next year's festival run. Of course, we've got tons more things that are going to be coming up in the next couple of months. It cools down a little bit for a couple weeks, so enjoy the Balloon Fiesta. You know,
I'll be there.
and then we'll get gearing up, I'm sure, for some more stuff starting in the new year as well. So there'll be all kinds of things. But thank you guys for joining me. I'm super excited about being on set and working with you guys.
Yeah.
And I think it's time
Finally,
for
right?
a new
New
agenda.
agenda.